Hello, it's Trinity Stamps new release day and it is full of holiday goodness. So today I will be making the card that you saw in the photograph there, and I have created a hole in the front panel of my arch shape card, and I use the nesting dies that are also included in that arch shaped card. It has a ton of nesting dies. And then I am creating a second frame because my shaker card will be on top of that front panel. It's going to be a see-through shaker card, so you'll be able to see into the center of the card, if that makes sense. It'll make more sense as I go along. So here I am just lining everything up and using one of the nesting dies that is a tad bit smaller than the arch of the front panel. So there will be a frame on top of the front of the card. And I'm just making sure, sorry, my head got in the way there. I am just making sure that I have everything lined up before I run it through my machine. And there is the frame. And then I'm just making sure that I've got everything lined up so it's all straight and everything. And then I am using that front panel window to trace around that window onto vellum. And then I'm just going to kind of rough cut around there. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to cover that whole open window. And then I'm just going to erase, just in case those pencil lines, I don't want anything showing. And here I am using the first one that I cut as a template to cut my second one. And again, it just, has to be a piece of vellum that's going to cut over. And then I added, and I didn't record, but I added double-sided adhesive tape around the perimeter of that frame. And here I am trying to, I don't know what it is with me and backer paper on. Sometimes they come off easy for me, and other times, I'm using the same tape, but some days I just struggle more than others. And today I guess I'm having a struggle day. And then I add my vellum onto it. And you can see the vellum is larger than the window, but it doesn't go over the edges of that frame. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the front of the card here. And I am adding double-sided adhesive tape around the perimeter. And then I will also add on top, I'll remove the backer, and then I will add that second piece of vellum over top of that there. So today we have a ton of inspiration. The design team has amazing inspiration. There is a YouTube hop, and I will link that the playlist in my description box, and so you can visit everybody's channel, and you can also enter to win a $25 gift card. The little link to enter, I will put that in my description box below as well. And then there's also a Instagram hop going on over on Instagram. So what I'm doing here is I have double-sided foam tape, and I don't want the stickiness of the sides to my shaker bits to get stuck to them. So I am using my embossing powder tool to take some of that stick off. And then I am adding double-sided foam tape. So it's got a bit of height to it. And I am adding that all around the perimeter of my window on the frame. And you don't want any gaps in there. I mean, you can have a gap, but not larger than your smallest bit of shaker bit. So, you know, because you don't want any of those beautiful shaker bits to escape. And then around the rest of it, I'm going to add more double-sided foam tape. And then you can also just kind of bend it all around too, so you don't have to constantly be cutting it. I should have probably done that in the first place, but yeah, so that you have one long piece. So, and I'm just making sure that my full area has tape, and I don't want it again hanging over the side. And then I am going to add my, I'm just double checking to make sure the window lines up perfectly, because I am a bit of a perfectionist and I want to make sure it fits now so that I can remedy it before I go ahead and get all my shaker bits in. So here I am using the classic Christmas confetti embellishment mix, and that is available. It's not from this release, it's a previous released item, but it is on the website, the Trinity website. So I'm just adding a bunch. I should have just poured it in, but I think I am being particular. I want to use my little pokey tool, pickup stick, Trinity pickup stick, to pick out some of the more, I think I am picking out stars here. So I want to make sure, because some of the little ones, they get lost in the bottom. So I want to make sure I get a lot of those beautiful stars in there. And then I'm just picking out, making sure I've got the ones that I want. And then I add some more because I want it nice and full, but, you know, not too full. So here I've got it. I'm taking off any of the shaker bits that get onto that double-sided tape, and that the pointy end of the tool is perfect for that. And then I'm just spreading them out just to make sure I've got enough in there. And then remove my double-sided tape. And adding a little bit more of the anti-static powder tool. And a lot of little bits. So again, back to Instagram. I will put my Instagram down below in the drop box, and I'll link the products that I used today to create this card. So you can find those. But if you head over to Instagram, you'll see inspiration over there as well. And I add liquid glue to the double-sided foam tape just so that I can do some shifting around if I need to. Because the tape, once you have the tape down, it's down. But if you have a layer of glue, you can, you know, shift it a little bit. And look at that, isn't that cute? You can see right through that. And then I am pulling, this is the new product. So I have the snow stacks, and this is an adorable set. And you can get it as a set, stamp and die bundle, or you can get it as just the stamp set. And I was showing you the snowflake. Couldn't really see it, but that snowflake that I pulled up, that big snowflake, has the most adorable little face on it. Smiley face on the center. It's so cute. But there are dies for every single snowflake, and there are about 7 or 8 different snowflakes in this set. So I am just getting all, I stamped them out, and now I am going to die cut them. And I just used a VersaFine Onyx Black. And to color up my cute little snowman, I used Prismacolor Premier pencils because I'm a pencil crayon girly. I like to use those. And I'm just making sure I have the orientation right, which I don't think it matters because they're circular. Some of them are circular. With others, it does matter. So look at how those all die cut out so beautifully. And then I'm going to carefully remove my, here I used washi tape, which sometimes it has a good stick, so that could remove a layer of your paper, your cardstock. So just be careful when you remove it, or use a lower tack, one that's kind of meant for it. But I have a ton of washi tape. And look, here is the snow stacks. Isn't that adorable? This fits, this stamp set is so fun to color, and it fits perfectly on the front of an A2 size card. However, I'm going to be using it inside of my card. And this is I forgot to mention my arch card. That's a 5x7 card that I'm creating. And I am using my little stamping tool, and I'm conditioning my stamp because it's brand new. So I'm just rubbing it and then stamping it up. And this one's, no one stacks up to you. And then I'm going to add my, I'm using the little snips to release them. And there we go. It works. There are dies for every sentiment. I can't remember how many sentiments are in this, but there are a few, at least 4, and I believe. And then running it through my die cutting machine. And then this is going to go on the front of the card. See, my little snowman on the front. I've positioned all my snowflakes on there. Now I'm just going to use my pickup stick and, sorry, I've got a tickle in my nose. My pickup stick and some Barely Art glue to adhere them all down on the front. And same with that little tiny snowman. So he is like looking at the shaker and all the beautiful little snowflakes. And then I am going to adhere my sentiment on. Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah. Gotta do him too. Isn't he cute? I'm just using tweezers to hold that in place, and then I'm making sure I have it positioned so that you can see it through the front window. Yep. Move them a little bit, and then there we go. Look at that. And then I'm going to add some more snowflakes on the inside and adhere them all down. And then once I have this all adhered, that will complete my card. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to visit all of the wonderful videos to see what everyone else has in store. And if you like my videos, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.